our next map is going to be Avanhokie versus BadPenny, and it's PvP. Avanhokie was a player on the winning team last year, so good to see him. We did some casting together, and good to see him still around in the CPL.
Yeah, I feel like for some reason I cast a lot of BadPenny PvPs on Autobahn. I don't know why that is, but always seems to find his way onto this map.
It's an interesting map. So I'm actually playing on this map in a PvP as well, but I picked it, and I picked a very specific strategy for it. So it's a weird map, but the thing is that in PvP, you know, it's not really an imbalance issue. It's just weird. It's not like a ZVP where it's really tough.
A couple things I notice about this map. You know, the mains are obviously enormous, so there's lots of places for shuttles to sneak in. I see a lot of Protoss placing pylons around the perimeter of their base to spot for that kind of thing. And the other feature that really strikes me is the walls that are surrounding your main. Dragoons with range can actually shoot over them fairly easily. So if there's some kind of Dragoon versus Dragoon attack into one of the naturals, Dragoons that are sort of reinforcing out of the main can actually contribute to the fight when they're still inside the main base, just by firing over as long as they have vision, which is kind of an interesting aspect. I can't really think of any other map where I see that happening regularly, except maybe Taucross or something like that.
What's it, Sylphid? Is that, can you do that
Oh,
in Sylphid?
yeah, you're right. Yeah, Sylphid as well. Most maps with low ground mains and low ground naturals, I suppose. But I've also seen a lot of really big macro games, macro PvPs on Autobahn. There are a ton of choices for your third base. You could take the top right base, you could the corner bases, I guess you'd call them. There's high ground bases right outside of your natural. There's the high ground base that's adjacent to your main, which is really close by air. I actually tend to see Protoss favor that one, which is interesting. I don't play PvP very often, so I'm not really sure what the rationale is behind taking that base in particular. But another thing which BadPenny's highlighting with his probe scouting right now is this is a fantastic proxy map. I mean, pretty much the entire map is buildable, and because it's horizontally stretched like this, there are like 5 or 6 different good proxy locations that are equidistant to your opponent's base. So if you're afraid of a proxy, you gotta kind of do what BadPenny's doing now, delaying scouting of the main and just checking everywhere, looking for hidden gateways.
Yeah, that's really good from BadPenny. This map is great for 9-9s, proxy gates, stuff like that, so that's a good move from him. It looks like Avanhokie is going for a 10-12. It was a little bit delayed. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I was a little bit confused. It was a pylon scout, which a lot of times we see gate scout. So that's something. It looks like BadPenny is doing 10-12 as well.
So not too much difference in terms of the builds. I think BadPenny's gas is a little bit slower. Yeah, he just started his gas, so a little bit of a divergence in the builds here. I see a lot of PvP games on this map come down to whoever takes their Nexus first is subject to a 1 Zealot 4 Dragoon counterattack. And I've also seen people talking in my team's Discord about 3-Gate Goon being good on this map.
Right. But yeah, 3-Gate 4-Gate Goon is quite good. Tim, so he's saying that you don't have to scout. I disagree. I've timed out the 9-9 proxy times, and if you don't scout, at least up here, and if you go directly to their base after your gate, I guess you could pylon scout, that's true. But if you gate scout, it will, once you get there, it's a little bit too late. I mean, well, you can still possibly defend, but the Zealots will be coming very shortly, so it's better, in my opinion, to just pop up there really quickly and then run into the base. That's what a dragon recommended to me.
There are mind games too. I mean, when I was helping my teammates practice PvP for this map, I 14 nexted twice, and then the third game I proxied, and so they thought I was 14 nexusing for the third time in a row. That's an extremely specific circumstance, and it's also two very, very bad strategies, so I wouldn't recommend either of those, but purpose being to prepare your teammates for all kinds of bizarre, wacky builds so they're not used to just defending 2-gate, defending DT, etc., etc. It looks like Avanhokie's starting up robotics facility now, whereas BadPenny is opting for the Citadel.
Yeah, so interestingly, BadPenny only built 3 Zealots. It's kind of something I've seen Bonnet do, just a 2-gate where you only build 3 Zealots and then you go into tech. Choosing not to go across map once he saw that it was 2-gate from Avanhokie. The shield battery maybe was a little bit unnecessary for Avan, but just a precautionary.
Yeah, this is a very defensive setup. I don't think I've ever seen this this pylon SimCity before. It makes a lot of sense if you expect some kind of heavy zealot pressure. And indeed, BadPenny did go for the Citadel, but I don't see Zealot Legs researching. He's just using it to springboard straight into Templar Archives, but very defensive. I feel like if you know your opponent is going for a 2-gate and you are also going for a 2-gate, you don't really need all of this defense because you should be able to match them unit for unit, so long as you don't go for some accelerated tech. It looks like BadPenny's moving out with 3 Zealots and 2 Dragoons right now.
And he's doing building 2 DTs, and although Avanhokie looks like he is going 3-gate obs, so the obs will be out in time when those 2 Templars arrive. So he's just gonna, with the Templars, try to get a little bit of damage poke, and then he's taking a relatively early second Nexus behind that.
The worry here is if your opponent has a big advantage in Dragoons, this SimCity is actually kind of a disadvantage because you can't run out and try to get on top of them as quickly. His Zealots are already in position, but yeah, you're not busting through that.
Ooh, Goons can actually get through there. Interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay, I guess that is a pretty decent defense then. Oh, he sees the DTs too, the Observer.
Oh no, but one, he doesn't recognize it though. Oh, the second Observer's coming out though, that will get gunned down.
Wow, that's very fortunate timing. Yeah, his other Observer just continued to fly across the map. I'm not even sure if he recognized that he was fighting DTs at that point, but luckily, the rally was such that the DT got stuck in that choke point. Now Avanhokie is on the offensive.
We'll see how the micro is here for Avanhokie. He does have an advantage. It's not huge. Caught a couple of those Zealots out. That's nice.
Yeah, BadPenny not attacking with all of his units. Cannon warping in at the front.
Yeah, Zealots on the Goons.
Sure about this.
I think Avanhokie can bust in here and destroy BadPenny. Losing those 2 DTs early is quite a big investment.
The probe transfer. It's a defensive probe transfer, as they say. But the probe's glitching out on the corner of that Nexus. Yeah, he's just gonna call it. GG. Nexus too quick.
So we'll be tied 1-1 for tier 3s.